Welcome to Websites for Beginners with me, JP. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and I hope you are doing well and keeping safe. This is Themify Reconstructed, and Themify is also a very popular theme as well as page builder, hence I will refer to it as a site builder. The Themify does shine as a theme. In Reconstructed, we take a basic block or section and we look at it a little bit more in detail. We construct it for you so that you, as a beginner, understand how the builder works and how you can build out content on any page. This tutorial, or rather the Reconstructed series, does not focus on things like header builders, templates, WooCommerce, blogging, and the settings in the background, features like pop-ups, etc. This is purely a building focus, page building focused tutorial, but we have other tutorials here at Websites for Beginners that cover all of that. And if we don't, we're not going to make promises, but we hope we can bring them if load shedding allows. I'm already here in the builder and I've built out these three sections, and that's what we are going to be reconstructing, recreating in this tutorial. To show you how it looks on the front end, I'll use my developer app, Css, and we have it here for desktop, which we just saw, and it looks pretty good. I did play around with a new feature that was just announced yesterday in Themify, and that is Css Transform. It's a big word. Many other builders already have it, so don't let it make you feel scared or a little bit, oh, I don't want to touch it, because it's a very simple thing. As you see, I go to this button, you will see it grows a little bit. Let's make that a tiny bit bigger. Whap, whop, whop. And that is what you can achieve with Css Transform. The settings within the builder, very easy. I hope to show you that at the end. I'm probably going to forget. Important is, how does this display on a mobile device? If we grab a Galaxy S20 here is the header. We scroll up. Ooh, and I forgot to put this text dark, so tad mistake there. And then here we have it with the background image. You'll also see there's a scroll to top button here in the bottom right-hand corner, mouthful. And this is all regulated by the theme. So while we're talking about the theme, let's go then into Themify for a moment. And you can follow the link in the description below and talk a little bit about the origins and background of Themify, so you can understand why Themify in so many ways are very different to other builders on the market. Many builders like Elementor and Brizy and a few others started as page builders. Themify started as a theme, similar to where Divi came from. And then as the theme started to evolve, they brought in builders within the theme. And often that is lost when people talk about products like Themify. They see it as a theme, and they actually forget that there is this very massive, powerful builder in there. And Themify has really stepped it up in the last years. There was a time I was a little bit concerned, but they've really done a splendid job at keeping up with the Joneses. They have builders now for header and footer, so they are a complete theme builder. And then also they have massive amounts of themes that you can use, as well as skins, which is a big word for demo, which is layouts, pre-made templates. They've got many, many of them. So when you go to Themify, you actually buy mostly the theme, and then you get that builder add-on. My only recommendation would be, if we look at the pricing, is not to get lost in all the different separate things that Themify has to offer. Don't buy the Pro Builder. Don't buy a specific theme. Just go for the Master Club. And if you wait for a good discount, I think it can go up to 40%. You can get the Lifetime Club deal. Really worth it if you like what you see here in these tutorials, because just going for it, you get everything included in Themify and future updates. Don't just go for a single theme unless you're doing it for a client, but otherwise just get the whole tutti. Let's then see what Themify Builder can do. And I just want to grab my localhost here and open up my Reconstructed Themify, start it up, and jump in. This will be another one of those days, so make sure you've got your cup of coffee ready to bring you through. Right, I know there had been a few updates because of the Css Transform that had been added. So let's see what we've got here. We'll quickly do these updates. And we have the Themify Builder Pro, as well as the theme that I'm using. And that is Themify Ultra. Most of the other times when we do tutorials and I need to use a theme, I will always go with the Blocksy theme at this moment. I just don't think there's anything that can match Blocksy, especially if you are looking for a free theme. Right, and then let's just go to our updates again. Within Themify, though, I will always prefer to use one of their themes. And out of the box, Themify Ultra, you can't go wrong. It's a great theme. Right, so we are done. Let's go to our pages. Do we have anything here? I guess not. Let's add a new one. And we're going to call this a Recon 01. Welcome to the block editor. Bye-bye now. And let's give it a name first, which is Recon 01. Publish it. Uncheck here. Always show pre-published checks. Publish. What do we have here on this page? This here is where Themify shows its roots. And that is, it started off as a back-end builder. It used to be everything back here. And then we did it with this kind of wireframe layout that Divi was popular for. And I think I showed you that in a few of the other tutorials. Many of them still has this as a view. But this used to be how we build it out in the back end. And there are still a few people out there that, believe me not, yep, they still like to work like this. But we are visual people, we are front-end builders, so we will be doing that all in the front end. Before we do that, remember in most cases when you build out a website, you're going to be using a header and you'll use a footer. And because you do that, that is part of your theme, so you will be using a theme. We are just reconstructing, so we don't need any of that. We want something very, 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 very clean. And to do that, here in the options, Themify Custom Panel, under Page Options, we have the Builder page, and I'm going to select this one, Configure Page Options for Builder. Right, so now I will have that. I'll just go to Page Appearance. Let's go to Header. And I will disable my header. And footer, I will disable the footer. And let's just see body, nothing there. Okay, let's just go back to page options, custom menu. We've done that. Builder section scrolling. Okay, let's see, update. Let's preview this page, preview in new tab. And good, it's a blank canvas. It just tells me here to turn on the builder. So I'll close out the back end for now. We focus here. Let's go into the builder and I'll just turn it on here in the WordPress toolbar. Turn on the builder. And the builder is turned on. There's a few things here that if you sit and you look at Themify, you're going to say, Daddy, what is that? Mommy, why is it like that? And again, it's a little bit of those things that shine through from the past. It won't always make sense to you. And if you don't spend time to figure out what it is, you're eventually just going to block it out. You're not going to see it anymore. On the other hand, if you have an idiot like me who did spend that time and who came from that past, I'll quickly show you why those things are there. If you reverse Themify about a year every time and incrementally a year, you're going to find that it changes a lot. I really like where it is now. Maybe there's still a few tweaks here and there, but they've made great headway in the last 2-3 years in getting this builder to be modern. Themify throws the inspector or the editor, whatever you want to call this thing. I often just like to call it the panel or the drawer or the sidebar. It can be an inspector, it can be an editor, whatever the name is here on the right. But you are not confined to using it only on the right. So you will see if I go here to the top gray bar and I click drag on it, I can detach it like so. And this is actually where Themify started with it all the way here on the left. And it used to be a little bit floating and sometimes it was docked. If I close it out, I want you to observe that after I close it out, this green plus, or this plus, the green box here with the white plus, becomes highlighted. This is where it used to be. Everything used to be manual. You clicked here and then it came onto the page. You dragged it, it disappeared, then you had to click the next one and so forth. Now that we can dock it, I'll click on it, I'll bring it, drag it to the right, and you see as I drag it to the edge of the monitor, I get that purple bar, let go, and it docks. The moment it is docked, you will see that this one grays out. Let's grab it again. Let's grab it to the left, and you see I can also dock it to the left. Can I dock it to the bottom? Don't think that's possible. I think it was possible. You can resize it if you want it a little bit bigger, or you need to find stuff on it. In this tutorial, I'm going to dock it to the right. You can also collapse it. You'll see there's a tiny little arrow here in the center right. And then it will collapse it. And to bring it out again, you simply click again on it and it will pop out. And this is our editor where we will bring in our content. And every time we work with content, it will also appear here. Close and open, undock, dock, you got the whole thing. Up here is our toolbar with a few things, but we'll not do much here except view for our different responsive views, our tablet portrait, as well as mobile. And here we have three functions. Backend, if I click on this, takes us back into the WordPress backend. So here we are again. For some reason, it has brought in already some content and we will remove it on the front end. Now that we have done all of that, you will see this front end button appears. Click on it. Takes us to the front end again. Over here, we have a close function. When you close this, it takes you to the front end out of the builder. Then you can turn it on again here by turn on builder. And here is our good friend, Mr. Save. And you can see the shortcut key, as always, Control S, Command S on a Mac. And we can save it. For some reason, I did something and it brought in content. You're always going to start with content somehow, but I want a blank page. I'll hover over it. You see the purple box, which is a row. Now, row is a section, is a block. This is your main container, purple main container. If I move here, then we have an inside container, which is orange. And then, if I hover over it, is a column. And then a green plus. Once I click on this, I can bring in my widgets, my elements to build out the content. To select, simply click anywhere in that container. So if I have this row and I click on it, I select the row. And you will notice that the sidebar on the right has changed its content. It now will tell me it's a row options. And if I go over the column, which is the orange area, click on that, it's going to give me column. And it jumps into column styling. Check up here, just upside of the column styling, you will see there's little breadcrumbs there. So this is the column that we've selected, and it indicates to us that it is within a row. So if I click on the row and I just made all of this undone, then it will go to the row. So let's just dock this again. Okay, let's column and row. Oh, for some reason, the row by itself detaches. It's not the end of the world. We're just curious why that happens. Good. Alternatively, you also have that little purple bubble up here in the top left-hand corner of the row. And as you hover over that, it's going to give you a move handle. Next to it, it will take you to the grid settings. So you can change how many columns you have. as well as responsive viewing. This responsive viewing pops up many places within Themify. Here, up there, over here in the editor. So you'll find it many places. I actually forget that it's here, hardly ever use it here. This is going to be the one that you will use a lot, the little paintbrush. And you'll see it appears in all the toolbars, and it takes you directly to the styling area of any column or row or element that you are working with. Click on it and you'll see again here, the row gives us styling. So row, styling, and next to that you have visibility as well as animation. We'll only focus on these two. The same for your column. If you go to the right top where the orange is, you see again styling. In the editor, note that as you have selected anything, for example, in this case, we have selected the column. It says column at the top. There are two ways you can exit the column editor here in the sidebar. You see there's a little check mark there that says done, as well as a done button here at the bottom. This is everything to do with the column. The moment I select this, click on it, it will close the editor and basically your column is deselected. You will see you don't see the options for the column anymore. I often forget about this because I'll try to bring in elements and like, where are my elements? And remember, that is how you go back to the elements. You can go in here, grab an element, bring it onto the page. Or you can go to your page and where you see this plus in the green circle, if you click on that, it's going to open the same dialog box for you, but just underneath it with a quick access to all these elements and features under modules, blocks, and saved. Modules, that's what they call it, same as Divi. We've got all the modules here that you will need, as well as others like fancy heading. And then what we are going to be working with for this one is text. Just note you have a text as well as a plain text, and we'll be using this text here. I think about a million ways you can bring this onto the page. GeForce Game Driver ready? Okay, next time. Click and drag on the text element, and you will see where a thick blue bar appears. That is where you can drop the module. I'll drop it, and my text module appears, and it is blue. We delete it. Click here on delete. Are you sure? Okay. And this is something Themify does all the time. Themify is really terrified and paranoid that you're going to remove something that you don't want to remove. I would say that was a good gesture, except that there is a Control-Z on my keyboard, so I kind of feel that is an extra step that I'm not always too fond of. Click again here. We bring in again our text. This time, instead of dragging it onto the page, you can just select this Add Module, because it's going to remember where you came from, and if I click on it, it's going to drop it there again. Let's delete it one more time. And then this time, we just go here to the sidebar on the right. Close this one. And then we look here under General for the modules. And we are looking for our text. Plain text. Where's the text? If I cannot find it, I just type there in the search bar text. And I grab the text and I drop it inside the column, inside that row. Let's have a quick look at the hero section we are building out. This is the one, so we're going to use this background, which has got the hexadecimal color code. Phew, big word. We often just say hex code. That is the name of the color of 36, 36, 36. Go back into the builder and we give our row that color. So you go to the row and then you click here on styling, or simply click on the row and it will open the row. First give you all the controls for the row. And if you want styling, click up here. Background, there's a lot of features here, right? You can see a lot. And this one here at the bottom, Transform, was just added yesterday. So let's go back, background, and then we are going to bring in a color. To do that, you'll see background color over here. Let's scroll down. click inside the box, and then you can work with the color editor here. In this area, you can grab that selector or just click and point, and you can choose the color you want. And if you want to change the hue, which is the color, you just drag here on the slider to the right. And then you have these preset swatches that you can select from. You'll notice there's a little X at the top right-hand corner of these swatches. And that allows you to delete them, and you can then also bring in your own, as well as import and export palettes that you've created. In this Reconstructed episode 1, we will do everything manual, and then in the next one, I will show you how to add these swatches. Manual is good just for you to get a good foundation as to where these things come from. I'll bring in that color code. So here within the box, not here on the editor, I'll just select everything and type in 36, 36, 36. No hash needed, and I get my color and I can close out. Good. So we've brought in the background color. Having brought in the background color, we cannot really see our text because, there's the text, light enough, but now let's work on the text. So what I will do, I will go and select edit. As I hover over the text, you will see it is blue, and then I get my blue toolbar, click on edit, and then the first part here is the content area. So we can work here. We add our content here, so I'll call this lorem ipsum. And then important, like many of the editors that work like this, you are going to set your HTML as well as your heading style over here by selecting from the drop-down box, what do you want to use here? If I click on heading 1, you will see it gets bigger, and then heading 2, etc., and so on, and we'll put this one on heading 3. Curious, where do these styles come from? Remember, we are using Themify's Ultra theme, and that is set within the theme customizer. So this can be preset. We're going to override it here. So remember, make sure you set it and then remember where it comes from. But because we are all manual, baby, we don't worry too much about the theme at this moment. Now we want to style it out. Again, remember, for styling, you go up here to the little brush and click on styling. And you can set everything here under font. But I'm just going to show you a different way so that you don't get confused about it. Go to General, and then under General, you're going to select Heading. Once you select Heading, you will see that everything changes here, and it will now give you Heading 1, Heading 2, Heading 3, Heading 4, etc. Go back to General. If you make changes here under Font, you basically apply it on a once-off basis to this element and this module, which is fine because we're doing it manually. But if you want to create a heading 3 type or a heading 2 type or whatever that you want to reuse, then instead of General, you're going to go to Heading and you'll select the one. In this case, it's heading 3. Remember, here in the front, we put our lorem ipsum to heading 3, styling, heading 3, and then you make the changes here. And the reason we do that is that if we have many heading 3s across our site, we want to make one change to all of them at the same time, you can just come and update it over here. So that is why I'll just go this route to show you, because this catches how many people, and me, almost every time. First, we change our font. Click here on Font Family, and the one we are working with is called Poppins, P-O-P-P-I-N-S, and then we select that, Poppins. Font color, and here I want to give Themify 10 out of 10. And the reason why is because font color is often the first thing you need to change because you cannot see it. I don't understand why many put font color here at the very bottom, because you are often going to make this change the first one. Click here on the color area, and because it's white and there's already a white swatch here, I'll just select the white swatch and we get that lorem ipsum. Click outside to close it, font size, and we're going to put that at 20 pixels. Line height, it's in pixels, which is wrong, so you can select here and just put it on M, and I'm going to put it on 1, because I don't need a line height. And then letter spacing, I'm going to give a little bit of 1 pixels between the letters. Text transform uppercase. Yep, that's what I want. And then I think we're done here. Now, how do we get this font to be in the middle? Because that's where we want it. Let's go back to text. And then here, you select center from the lorem ipsum. That's it. Now we have created that. Let's save. And remember, shortcut key is Control S, Command S. View it on the front end. So we click here on close. It's also a shortcut key called escape. Let's try the shortcut escape. And escape didn't work for me. Yep. Let's close it. And now we're on the front end. So you can see there's still some bar up here and the builder here. And if we go back, we just say turn on builder. Now we'll bring in another text element for our main heading. To do that, we can again look over here and look for our text. I'll click and drag it, and you'll see now we have 2 areas we can drop this text. So I'll drop it here below lorem ipsum, and then we do the same. First, I'll have to bring in some lorem ipsum text, and I'll do that with the lorem ipsum.io generator. Let's grab some text here called pa. I think this is enough. Copy that. And then here in the text editor, paste that, Control Command V. And this time I'll put it on a heading 2. Good. Everything done here. Center align that one as well. Then we go back to styling, general, and remember we go to heading. This is a heading 2. Select that. And we do the same. So we put it on Poppins. And then the color is white. Font size for this one is 40. Line height, I'll put it on 1. M. And then letter spacing. No letter spacing, but we'll transform it to uppercase. And I think that's what we've got there. This one we are done for. Next, we want to break this sentence into 2 lines. So we have this 3 words in the first line and these 2 words in the second line. And to achieve that, we will bring in padding, which is space on the left and the right. And we'll increase this padding to squash these 2 words to the second line. A common mistake people make, if we click back here to the text area, is to go into the editor and apply a hard break. So here where it says desorund, they enter or they hit return on the keyboard. This is not preferable at all in any kind of graphic design or word processing. It's a cheap shot and you shouldn't be doing it. Rather use those things like padding and container size if the builder has that to achieve it. I'll undo that, Control Command Z. That gives me undo in the Themify builder. How we achieve that is to go to styling and let's select here general, because now we're working with the entire box and we look for padding. Yep, padding very nicely. Scroll down and currently our padding is locked. So you see by default it's all, I don't like it. I don't know why people say we all want the padding locked. I hardly use 4 sides. This would have been better unlocked. You can type in the value there. Alternatively, you just click in there and drag up and it will give you padding. But we want to not have that. So I'll select it, delete it, then unlink it like so. And now we'll work with the left and the right. You'll see the tooltips. It gets confusing. You look at it and you think, hey, what is what? In Themify, you have to hover over them to see the tooltips. I guess that frees up space. And we also want to link the left and the right. So I'll link them here by clicking these 2 arrows in the middle. Currently, the value is set to pixels. If I type in, let's say 300 pixels, it's going to apply 300 pixels here. See it on the left as well as on the right. And you'll notice now as I hover over it that we also have these double-sided arrows that appear. And it actually shows you that you can drag on the page. So instead of going there, into the sidebar, you can simply drag these values in on the page. Let's do that. Let's grab this one in the middle, and then we drag it. And because they are linked, you can see in real time how we apply this padding. And I like this, especially if you are new to website making. Padding can be a little bit confusing. Margins can be more confusing. But having this visual display clearly shows you this is a no space, a no-fly zone. You're not allowed to put anything in padding. Nothing can go here. And that means that as I increase this border, I'm squashing things there. And if I take it even further, I'll break it into more lines. I only want those 2 lines, so I'll reduce it. A nifty feature here is you see that little arrow? If I hover over it, you see here, and I click on it, it's going to give me the same options that I had in the sidebar. I can link opposites, I can link all sides, and I can add it into an M or a percentage. We've worked with pixels, but I like to often put my padding in a percentage. So if I click here on percentage, you will see that value of the 300 and something pixels. Let's put it back on pixels. 336.4 pixels translates into 28%. So let's just drag this to something like 30%. So I can show you what do we mean by 30%. 30% means 30% of this border on the right is a no-go zone. And because we've linked it with the left, it's also 30% on the left. So how much content do we have for the text in the middle? 30 plus 30 gives you 60. So the content in the middle, only 40%. 30, 40, 30. And that's how the percentage works. I can reduce it a little bit to even 25%. We still get the same effect. So 25% on the right, left, and 50% in the middle. It's important that you understand that you're actually working with a smaller canvas area at this moment, because this editor here on the right takes up space. If I click here on Done, and I close it here with the arrow in the center middle on the right, you will see it stretches a little bit. So if when you stretch it, it doesn't work the way you want it to work, you can simply go in again and make changes here. As simple as that. This spacing now between these 2 lines, a little too narrow. So let's go back, select Styling, and then under General, heading to Font, and find the line height. Line height is all about the space between lines. If I keep increasing it, you will see the space between these 2 lines increase. You don't need to understand the M value. What is important is that 1.6 from 1.5 even up to 1.8 is standard when we work with long paragraphs. And that allows for people to read text better. If we're working with a heading, this is just not working. It's too much space. It doesn't look like a heading. It feels a little bit off. And for that, we'll decrease it from 1.3, 1.2, and I'm just going to put it at 1.1. It's barely noticeable, but I know it's there. And that just gives us a little bit more separation between these 2 lines. Good. So we have our first upper heading here, and then we have our main title here. Let's bring in a call to action, and that will be a button. I'll just click here on the plus and then search for button, but I can actually see button is over here. I can click, hold and drag, and I will see 1, 2, 3 areas. We'll drop it down here. Button appears here, and we can click on edit. Edit is already open. So let's see what's happening here. We have size. I'm going to leave it at default. Shape. I want sharp borders. You can see squared, round, circle, and then rounded, but the default is square. Thank you very much, Themify. Then we have background, solid, outline, or transparent, and then display alignment. This one we want to choose center because that will put the button in the center. And you can also have your full width. Wait, happen. I like full width, but we don't need it. So we'll keep it only there to center. And then let's go here. This area here is where we do everything with the button. It's got this little drop down here because you can actually add more than one button, which we will do in a future lesson. Text, so type in there, view more, and then the link. I'm going to put in my own link, w4.w4b.io, open link in a new tab. And then we will not mess with the color or anything else here. We'll do that under styling. Right, so we've got the content ready. Let's click up here on styling. And here you have to be also very, very careful. The changes we want to make actually goes under button link, right? So this entire button is considered the button link. So we select general button link icon, click on button link, background, and first we change the background to white. I think it's not 100% white at this moment. Let's see. And there we go. Yep, it wasn't on white. Good. So that's all we want. Close that. Go to padding. And I'm going to add more padding on the left and right. I'll de-link this. Then the left and right, link them. And in pixels, I'll add 40 pixels on the left and the right. I think I'm okay with the top padding there. Not a big problem. Let's close this, and then we are done here. Let's go back to general. Now that's strange because now general, we have the font. Click on font, and we change it first to Poppins. And then font color, put that on 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36. Font size, 16 pixels. Line height, we're not going to mess with that. Letter spacing, 1. Text align, it's already center, so we leave it there. And then text transform, we'll put it on uppercase. Good. We've done that. Right. And now let's bring in some spacing to our hero section, because at this moment, everything is way too cramped. First, we need some padding at the top and the bottom. Click on the row, and it will open the row options here. You can click on styling, and then we go to padding, and you can add it here. However, we can drag it on the screen. So we'll go up here, and then we'll find our section. I'll see it here. Inside, until you see that thin little purple box, and then click and drag and add the padding. We can add it uniformly. So go to the middle where you see the values, click on the down arrow, and we link the top and the bottom, and we bring in around 100 pixels for both. If I want to add more at the bottom, I'll just delink them and then bring in 120 pixels here. And give me 120, 120. There we go. Then I want to add space between this button and the main heading. These two are too close. So I'll go to the container, which is this blue outline where it says button, and I'll drag outside it because I want to apply space between two elements. And to do that, we have to work on the margin. And the margin is always outside the container. So click and hold and drag, and you will see we can add it. There's our values, and I'll drag it to 75 pixels. Let's save. Done here, save. And there we go. We can view it on the front end. Click here on close. That's how it looks on the front end. And then we can go back into the builder, click on turn on builder. I want to show you a nice little feature that Themify has added recently in an update, and that is the CSS Transform. Let's go to the button and we just click on it to open the editor, and under styling, as you scroll to the bottom, you will see here Transform. Click on Transform, scroll a little bit so we can see everything. And here we have the option to scale the x-axis and the y-axis. So if I click inside the x and I drag with my cursor up, you're going to see how we stretch this one on the x-axis. A value of 1 is 1 to 1. So that is the 100% value of it. And then I increase it. And of course, if I go this side, which is the y value, and I click and drag, it's going to stretch it on the vertical axis. I can reset it, click here, there's a little X, but it doesn't. So let's reset it by selecting everything and delete it. And there you're back to your standard default values. What I want though to achieve is when I hover with my mouse over this button for it to scale just a little bit. And to do that, you select the hover state here. Currently it's normal, and then hover. Now we add that value. I'll click in it and I'll just use my up arrow key until I get to 1.1. And then same for this, or I can just type in 1.1. Go back to normal. Now, if I hover over it, you can see how it scales. Nice little effect. Shows people, here you are, you're on the page. We can also apply a hover background fade to this background. Make sure the styling is selected, and then we go up to where we have the background for the button. And then you see, again, we have the two states, normal and hover. And I'm wrong. This is the background we want the button link. Yeah, this one is confusing. From general, go to button link. Background, we have normal and hover, and we see the background color currently set to white. So we select hover, and then we select white again here. And then you see there's a slider here on the right side. This is the transparency. To increase that, click and drag it, and we'll bring it to around just a little bit, 0.8. 0.8 means 80% opaque, 20% transparency. Let's click here on done. Close this, and let's see how it works. Two things we expect to happen now when we hover over the button. Number one, it's going to scale a little bit, grow. And the second thing is it's going to fade a little bit in the background. And there is the effect that we wanted. Smooth bananas. Save our work, Control Command S. One thing I want to change is to this text here in the middle. I'll click on styling. I want to make it thicker. So from general, heading 2, and where is our font weight? Over here, regular. Going to put that on 800. Makes it thicker. And then I'm also going to apply, let's put it back on 30%. That's where I messed it up. Good. Save. And there we go. Let's go and view it quickly on our developers app, which is Css. I'll copy the link here. Let's paste this one. There's the new one. Okay. So here we have that grow feature as well. All looks good here for our hero section. We still have this white space at the top. And if we go to the responsive views, we're going to see it doesn't look so good on our tablet device and our mobile device. So we need to go and fix that within Themify. Responsive viewing is done up here in the toolbar. I can click on tablet and it will give me tablet landscape, tablet portrait. And then over here, I'll also have mobile. I know already that this is way too much for a mobile device. It looks way too broad. So we will have to reduce that. Let's first click here on the tablet for this one, which is tablet portrait. And now we make changes to this text element. Click on styling. And the first thing I will do is reduce the amount of padding that we have. And I'm doing it while in the tablet view. Then I will also reduce the font size a little bit. Go to general heading. This is heading 2. And it was set at 40. This time I'll just put it on 30. So let's then go back to our padding onto the page. And we'll drag that again into 2 lines. Next, we can go to our mobile. And then for the mobile, select the styling. And it's still selected. So what I can do here now is to reduce this to 20. And I'll also change the font weight to 500. And then I will go here and I will increase this. However, I think this display is way too big for a mobile. So you see a few handles here. It turns blue on the left or on the right. Click and drag that. And you will see it's set to 675 pixels. Way too big for a mobile device. I'm going to reduce this all the way to 360 pixels. That will give me at least a fair display on a Galaxy device. So just there, 357 is good. And now you can see we have way too much padding. So what I'll do is I'll grab it. Okay, 10%. And I'll also change the text at the top, styling. Go to general, heading. This was a heading 3. And we're going to change the font weight, something like 200. And we'll put the font size to 14. But the button, I'm not going to touch the button. I want it to remain large. I'll also add more padding on the mobile, around 120 here at the top. And then 150 here at the bottom. Good. Let's save that. And then let's go back to Css, refresh, and see how it looks here now. See how we fixed that in a jiffy. Really great. Another thing, if we go back into the builder and we select desktop here, remember desktop, tablet, and then mobile, is the preview button next to it. If you click on preview and you select mobile now, you will see you have actually a selection down here of pre-made devices you can choose. So if I go for a iPhone XS, it will shrink and you can see, unfortunately for some reason, I cannot edit. I can only view it. I wish that was also in the settings while we are doing the responsive editing. So remember this preview function that you have within Themify, pretty cool. Save our work, Control Command S, make sure everything is locked in. There's something that has been bothering me a lot, and that's this save area up here. It's not supposed to be here. So I want to go into the back end. Up here, click on back end. Just give me 1 minute to figure this out. It's not supposed to be there. What happens if I click on... This is a block. When did I enter this block? Change block type or scale. Or did Themify give me this block? Strange things indeed. I don't want this. So I'll just go here and remove. Let's save. Let's go front end. Here we go. Themify, don't mess with me like that. Didn't like that. Want to cry. Good. Now we've got our hero banner done. Let's just check again for the preview that everything looks good. Tablet landscape, tablet portrait, and mobile device portrait. And we choose iPhone 8. And we love it. We love it. We like it. Switch off the preview and go back to desktop. Let's build out those two sections, a light version and then one with a background color. To duplicate the section, go up here to the purple toolbar and you see duplicate. I click on that one, and to add a little bit of space between these two because we can see nothing, I'll bring in margins. So let me just go to the settings of this block, styling and margins. Remember, margin always gives you space between different elements on a page. I'll only work with the bottom one, so I'll put in 100 and you see there we have it. You can also click and drag it. So put it back on 100. So we just keep things nice and tidy. Then we change things over here. I'll start here with the upper. Hover over it until it's blue. Select styling. Go to general, heading, and this was heading 3. And we change the color. Click here. And we're going to type in 36, 36, 36 because we're switching the colors around now. What's dark becomes light and vice versa. Same for this one. Click on styling. This time it's heading, and this is a heading 2. Same thing. Select that. 36, 36, 36. And now we can change the background color of the entire block. And that is our row. Go here, styling, background. And then here, we can simply click on the X next to the values to take it out back to the default. And there we have a white background. I'm going to give it a border just so that we can see it a little bit better. Collapse this background panel. And then we look for border over here. Careful though, it's only set to the top border. Strange, don't know why. Best would have been to start with all. So select all borders. We give it a color. It's that 3636. And then after we've done that, we put it to solid and a value of 25 pixels. And there we have the border. Let's make our button pop a little bit because we cannot see that very clearly. Hover over the button, select styling, and then we go button link, remember, and background. And I'm going to change the background. I'll grab the slider this time and just increase it all the way to the left to a slight off-white, a little bit of gray, just like that. Very nice. And now we have created this light version of the same hero banner. We love it. Let's save it. And we're going to do the same now for one with a background image, which is probably the one you're going to use in most cases. Let's copy this section again, go to the row, and then duplicate. And now we have to drag it down to the bottom. Let's see if I have success this time. To drag anything on the page, you simply go to the toolbar. You will see it gives you the move handle. Click and hold, and then you have a zoom view that will zoom out so that you can easily drag it. This grayed out area is the one we are currently dragging. And anywhere you can drag it, you will see that purple bar appears. So I'm going to drag it. There you see the purple bar at the bottom. Let go. Let's see if it worked. Yay, it worked. We want to add margin. So I'll go to, let's see if I can add margin here. There we go. Good. So I'm adding, I think this is the space for the top row. Again, we just want that extra space. The only thing we need to change here is the background image. Go to the row, settings, and then select styling. And then we have background. And this time we're going to use image. So we click here on background image. And then we bring in an image from our Finder, our Explorer. I have mine here. Click, drag, drop it. Insert file URL. And voila, it pops in. A few things here, though, we want to make sure. The first one is the background mode. This will determine the size of the image and how it will scale and how it will behave when it is brought onto your page. There are quite a few here which you will almost never use any of them. You will be tempted to think best fit. Best fit. But if you do that, you see it fits the entire image by ratio into the row container. No. Doesn't work here. So the one we want to choose is full cover. That's going to give us the best option unless you have something else here. Zoom scrolling. Well, that's probably, okay, something cool. We can work on that another time. So best fit, no. Full cover, yay. Then we want to make sure that this image, the focus point will always remain the center area, whether it is viewed on a tablet or a mobile device. This will always be the center area. Themify gives us a great way to do that. They give us this selector over here. Again, everyone out there, and I'm talking about you, page builder, and page builder you guys need to bring in something like this. Having people type in center, top left, forward / backwards. No, it's just nonsense. Do this, it's so much easier. I grab this focal point, and as I drag it, you can see where it is going to focus. So if I prefer to have her eye like that, which is a little bit scary though, but I would say here, that's okay. I'll just drag it a little bit down. And you can see the X coordinates here and the Y coordinates as well. If you want to place it back to the center, don't do what I have been doing. I try and drag it perfectly until I can get it there to the middle. I'm showing you not what to do. I'll show you the shortcut now. This is just to show you why it can be frustrating if you insist to get it at 50%. There we go, center. But you saw how long it took me. No. Just drag it away. And it's you hover over the dot in the middle. You can simply click and it will jump to those dots. Look at that. Jump. Very easy. Lots of flexibility here. Thank you very much for that. Let's save it. Close this one. We are done. Save it. And remember, if you want to view it on the front end, click here on Close. It will give you the front end within your browser. Looks good. Very nicely done. And you can even test that link that we had brought in earlier to websites for beginners. That's great. Close this one. Let's close this one as well. And to go back into the builder, go to the WordPress toolbar at the top and turn on builder. And we are back in the builder. We are actually done here. This is all we're going to do for Themify Reconstructed 01. And then let's just go again to Css, refresh here, and have a look at how this will display on our various devices. For a laptop, let's look at MacBook Air and focus on this one. Looks good, behaves nicely. Same here and same here. And then you have this scroll to top button here at the bottom. And then if we go to responsive mode, let's choose a different device. What are you in the mood for? I'll open my device drawer. And what do we have here? Pixel. We can do a Pixel. Let's do a Pixel 3. So I'll drag a Pixel 3 in. And then let's close our device drawer. And let's see, here is our Pixel 3. Focus on this one. Looks good. You see the Pixel 3 is wider than the settings we had used. It's at 393 pixels. But it still looks okay for our purposes. Ooh. And we ran into that issue as well. Let me go and check the other two devices as well. Because this may be a Themify issue. Why does that do that? Do I have to change it for both? Okay, let's go back. Good thing we tested that. Let's go to tablet. Tablet. And there it changes. Sneaky, sneaky. This is a glitch, definitely. But it's a good thing we picked it up. Otherwise, you'll have a very, very angry client. Strange. Very, very strange. 36, 36, 36. Okay, there it works. And then let's go for mobile. And mobile, both disappear. Ooh. Okay. This, you understand why I will tell you, you need to go and test all the time. It's a heading, it's a heading 3. And we put it 36, 36, 36. Enter. Okay, we saw the lorem ipsum. And then this one. Strange. Oh, yeah. And then we go, this one is a heading 2. Same. 36, 36, 36. Good. Shoo. Let's go and make sure we fix that. Thank you, Sissy, for being on our side and supporting us through these strenuous times. Looks much better. Our devices seem to glow now. And then we also have the image at the bottom. It looks good on all our devices. Good thing I decided to look at this Pixel 3. Otherwise, I never would have tested it. And I remember actually at the very beginning, I noticed something wrong with my mobile display. Not sure why it does that. I think it's because I copied it and I changed it. Of course, this is not going to happen to you. Why? Because you're not going to be making 3 different hero banners of the same layout for your page. You're just going to make one of these 3 and you're going to make them properly from the beginning, like the good designers we are, right? That's it. From me then, this is the end of Themify Reconstructed 01. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you again in the next video. Have a nice day and stay safe.